the gender confusion that we see today in today's world. There's a lot of confusion whenever it comes to this, so I'm just going to try to stick to a basic script of what I want to talk about. And if you're in the Charleston, South Carolina local area, there will be a discussion room available for talking about that on my Discord channel, the Charleston Connection. So, gender identity confusion. While I hear so many people complain about they want gender equality and neutrality, I'm okay for that. But I also see these same people who choose to identify themselves or as a specific title are kind of confused as to what's actually going on. And I've got a lot of friends that tend to choose their own identity, and I'm okay with that. And if you're a friend with somebody who is expressing themselves differently, then be a friend. Be supportive of what they decide. But with all the different titles, it kind of gets confusing as to what's actually going on here. Now, if you break down, gender identity, if you break down the two different words, gender is defined as the assigned sex at birth based on the possession of reproductive organs. You're born with a specific set of organs, and they define what your gender is. But the identity part is where the individual person actually decides themselves as to how they choose to identify themselves. Okay, again, not against any of this. I'm just trying to clarify some of the overall confusion here. But when you combine those two together, gender identity, the confusion just comes in. There's so many different terms now that I've seen used. Gender binary, non-specific, transgender, gender queer. What the hell do all these things mean? And why do we need all these labels? I thought if you're trying to go for equality, shouldn't you avoid using a specific title? I'm this. Well, if you're that, then why do you claim that title if you're trying to be neutral or form equality? It's like racism in a sense, where sadly today the people who cry racism the most are actually being racist themselves. It's the same kind of thing. As an example, in a conversation with a friend of mine, he asked me how I identify. I'm like, what do you mean? I'm a man. I was born a man. I have male organs, and that's that, right? I'm just a person. I don't try to label myself as anything else. I'm male. If you want to know my gender, that's what my gender is. But then you see things like the letters CIS. And essentially what that stands for is, without going into the true definition of it, is a cis male or a cis female means that they were born with the genitals that define them as male. So a cis male, and they identify themselves as a male. Why do I need to add 3 more letters in front of my gender? I'm a male. I don't need cis male. I'm a male. My personal choices shouldn't affect how my gender is perceived. And whenever it comes to a lot of this, sometimes it gets confused with sexual. And with that, if you look at it, the primal state of things says that a man lays with a woman in order to reproduce, to, continue the gene pool, or to continue the population. That's what's necessary for the world to continue to go on. Is if we want more humans to take over and continue populating the earth, a male lays with a female to create offspring. That's what the primal states as normal or normality or primality. But when it comes to, okay, if I'm looking for a specific mate, then it goes into preference. I have my preference of what I'm looking for. And with this individual, he identifies himself as a male or a man, um, but he's only attracted to the female body. It's okay, me too. Um, he dresses and acts just like a man, walks like a man, talks like a man, whatever, And he's only attracted to the female body. However, he will have sexual contact with another male. Doesn't mean that he's attracted to them. He just sees that as the entertainment aspect of sex. It's, for him, is recreational. So it doesn't really matter who he's having sex with, as long as they are in it for the same reasons, naturally. But he doesn't look at a man and say, oh my God, he looks so handsome. No, because he's not attracted to the male body. He's attracted to female bodies. So what does that make him? Well, then that's where you start coming into the labels whenever it comes to sexuality. And it's totally different from gender identity, but they're often confused with being hand in hand with each other. So for his situation, that would label him as a bisexual. But if a man only wishes to lay with a woman, or a woman only wishes to lay with a man, and we're referring to sexually, then that is heterosexual. Okay, that's the normal primal instinct. However, if you're a male and only wish to lay with a male, or if you're a female and only wish to lay with a female, then that is called homosexuality. Homo meaning the same sex, or in this case, same gender. Not saying anything's wrong with any of that. Yes, it does defy the primal urges of nature. However, we're just looking at titles here and how people like to identify themselves. And the problem is with all the confusion, when you start confusing your gender identity with your sexual preferences and so forth, and that's where a lot of people get confused, is the two of them together. I'm not specifically staying with my script here. I'm just kind of glossing over things. I don't want this to be a long video. So, logically speaking, there is two genders, a male and a female. There's three sexual preferences. There's heterosexual, homosexual, and bisexual. If you want to stick to labels, stick to those. With your gender identity, if you just want to be you, and that's the whole point behind the You Be You series. You be you. Be yourself. Be what you want to be. Be how you feel that you wish to be. Don't try to be somebody else. Be yourself. So hence the You Be You on the videos that I put with this logo on it. You Be You. I don't care if you're a man and you wish to dress like a woman. That's cross-dressing is a main title for that. But if you're just dressing how you feel comfortable, if you feel more comfortable with, as a male, wearing some female clothing or maybe a little bit of makeup, or you dress specifically like a male, but you have long eyelashes or long fingernails, or you paint your fingernails, whatever. It does not matter. As long as it makes you feel comfortable, then if the people around you cannot go along with that, and they're not respectful of you wanting to feel how you wish to feel, that's their problem. If you look at it, if they have a problem with it, well, then they are the ones that has the problem. They have the problem, not you. So if that's what you choose to do with your life, if you want to wear a cowboy hat and a tutu and wear riding boots and have long eyelashes and painted fingernails and whatever, you do you, man. or woman or what have you. But you have to understand, though, on the same lines, that there are going to be people who are narrow-minded and simplistic. I'm one of them. People are going to judge other people no matter what. There's nothing really we can do about that. But you have to feel comfortable in your own skin, and you have to, well, you have to love yourself first before you can expect somebody else to love you. But if somebody lashes out, just separate yourself from them is the best thing that you can do. Some people are just assholes, and we all have to live with that. It's stupid, I know. We should all have a better mentality about our fellow people, you know. Just, it's not going to happen, though. Your lifestyle choices. It's, and I'm going to relate this to, like, vegans. Okay, I understand the concept of becoming vegan. I'm not a vegan, I promise you. But if you choose to become a vegan, you have your reasons for doing so. If I choose not to be a vegan, it's because I've made my own choice for that. However, I can respect your choice to become a vegan. I may ask you, well, why did you decide to become a vegan? If I actually care about you. But it's the people who become vegan, especially the ones that become vegans later in life, who cast stones. You're not a vegan. You are a hateful person. You're a terrible person. You're a murderer. Meat is murder, and fur is murder, and blah, blah, blah. And they're trying to overly inject their personality and their belief onto you and accusing you of being wrong because you are not just like them. Those are the kind of people who need to just shut their mouths. They are part of the problem and not part of the solution. I respect what you believe. You should respect what I believe. I believe in a lot of the things that vegans believe in. But I'm really not going to give up my chicken or pork chops or maybe a hamburger. I'm just not going to do it. I don't want to, and that's my choice. Same thing with your lifestyle choices. Create your own identity, but don't label it as a gender identity. Identify yourself as who you are. If you were born as a male, you feel as though you should have been a woman. Well, okay. If that's how you feel, we should respect that. But that's not what defines you. Don't let that confuse you. If you want someone to look at you in a certain way or feel about you in a certain way, then you're going to have to be understanding of their position as well. You have to be comfortable with yourself first, and then let somebody know, hey, I choose to dress this way. I want to wear this shirt, this pair of pants, or this skirt, or this dress, or these boots, or this hat, or my hair in this color, with piercings and tattoos and all of that. It is your choice, as long as you're not offending somebody else. If you have tattoos of negative things on your body, curse words, things of that nature, then yeah, that puts you in the wrong. But to go down the line on all this, just stop being prejudiced. Stop being a racist. Stop the hate in general. Because if you want someone to appreciate you, or even to just acknowledge who you are as a person, then you can't lash out at them in a negative way. Because if they can't understand why you chose to be who you are, then they're ignorant. They're in the wrong, not you. I've heard some horror stories of people who've chosen these different gender identity titles, like gender binary and gender neutral or intersex or whatever, that have actually let the opinions of other people cause them to commit suicide. It should have never gotten to that point. It is a terrible thing that it did happen. And it's because of all the hate and all the ignorance in the world. There's a lot of self-centered ignorance. If it's not my way, it has to be wrong. Well, that's what we're going to run into. The only way that we can fix that is to fix ourselves first, without worrying about trying to fix everybody else around us. I'm going to wrap up this video and just say, you, be you. Be what you want to be. Be how you want to be. Just don't be negative in the way you present yourself. Learn to love yourself, and other people will love you for who you are. If they don't, there's other people around that will. So, thanks for watching. I got another video coming up soon. Again, if you're in the Charleston, South Carolina area and you have questions, concerns, or just want to talk about anything that you see in any of these videos, and yes, I'm limiting it to that area specifically for a reason, but if you are in the Charleston, South Carolina area, then I have a Discord channel set up called the Charleston Connection, and in future videos I will have a direct link to that Discord channel, but it is only for people in this area specifically. Thanks for watching, and have a great evening.